Something as simple as a social media app such as TikTok can be absolutely destroying your finances without you even realizing it. Here's the reality. TikTok has a very big influence on most people, consciously or unconsciously. Figuring out the unconscious things that are happening to you due to these social media apps is literally going to set you free. It sounds something so simple, but I'm telling you, this isn't some old person saying, oh my gosh, it's always that dang phone. No, this is actually something that will affect your future. So if you want to retire on time instead of having to work for the rest of your life, this is something that you should really take into consideration. TikTok is generally an app that's very fast paced. The average video is between 21 seconds and 34 seconds. And let's be so for real, most of us cannot commit to even one of those videos for that long. So considering that it's just scrolling, it also gives you an immediate dopamine hit. That is how a lot of these social media apps really work and how they run and how they keep your attention. The issue with this is a couple things which I will get into today. The first thing that I really want to address is that it takes the joy out of long-term goals. It takes the appeal out of it, I should say. When you can go to your phone and get the same dopamine hit that you would have gotten if you would have done 5 hours of work, why would you naturally decide to do whatever hard thing there is over just going to your phone? And on top of this, hard things are hard, and with it being hard, it can also be very scary. And our brain is sometimes wired in a way where things that seem overly difficult or fearful, we tend to try to run away from. So when you have something that's quick and it's safe, you might feel the need to go to that, which can easily lead to addiction, but that's for a whole nother video. The appealing nature of this can really deter you from big goals, but here's the biggest issue in that is that big long-term goals tend to be the ones that are worth it. When it comes to financial freedom, typically it does not happen overnight. There is a plan, there's intentionality. And if you cannot commit to that plan, that intentionality, then the finances that you want to see, the money that you want to see coming in, the money that you want to see saved, you may not ever get to it. Because the reality of it is, if you're saving $10,000 a year so that you can reach $100,000, well, you're not going to reach it, because by the first year, when you see that you're not at your goal and you're feeling discouraged, you may just give up. A good example of this is also college. College on average takes 4 to 5 years. I would say a lot more people are taking a lot longer to finish college nowadays. So if you look at it from an objective standpoint, if you can barely spend 10 seconds on one TikTok, how are you going to be able to commit to spending 4 to 5 years for one thing, a degree? Again, it's not impossible, but it's very much more difficult. I've struggled with this myself. I have graduated with my Bachelor's of Science in Business Management. And while going to college, there were so many times where I would just spend an entire week, a whole week, not doing any work. And I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, how did the time just pass me by like that? And why? It's because I was on my phone and I was distracted, and being on TikTok felt better than studying. And as we all know, degrees pay more. Jobs that require degrees pay more. So something like that can affect my finances if I were to have continued. And let's say I dropped out of college because I was so addicted to my phone and I was flunking all my classes. That could be the difference between me making $1 million in the next 20 years and me not. And it can make that same difference for you. Another thing that TikTok does when it comes to finances, like I mentioned before, TikTok is a very, very, very fast-paced site. Okay, the app runs on your attention. The app runs on you consistently and continuously scrolling. It relies on that dopamine rush that it gives you. So when it comes to success, when it comes to long-term commitments, it's a lot more difficult to do that when you've unconsciously been trained to just get like dopamine rushes like that. Like, with this being said, ambition doesn't always go away when the commitment goes away. This can lead to people making a very risky decisions when it comes to their money. There have been a lot of get rich quick schemes going around They've always been there, but they're here and they're around more than ever. And for somebody who has this mindset of getting things quickly, getting a dopamine hit quickly, instead of spending that time on a business, instead of spending that time going to college, instead of spending that time going to get a certification, if they go and they scroll on TikTok and see, oh shoot, like I can spend 10 days and get $100,000, they're more easily to fall for it. And this risky behavior of trying to get money quickly because you're so used to getting a dopamine hit quickly can lead to you actually losing money. There are a lot of examples. Let me give you a couple. One, gambling. There have been so many people that have been promoting gambling, especially in the streamer community. If you know, you know. And also a lot of people are selling like scammy, like online courses, which not all online courses are bad, hear me out. But if you have this online course, you're more likely to spend money, and you're risking that money because let's say it's $1,000 course. You just risked $1,000 because they said that you can make $10,000 in 10 days. Is this impossible to make that type of money in that many days? No, it's not. But it's more likely that you didn't do your research to make sure this person is legit. Again, there are just so many ways that you are risking your money and you're making riskier financial decisions, investing all that you have because of the fact that you're trying to get a dopamine hit like really quickly. This goes for even stuff like day trading. Like day trading is good. It's cool. It's a skill that needs to be built. But if you're trying to focus on that dopamine rush and you saw somebody on TikTok talking about they made $100,000 in a day, and then you go in and you invest all your money and you lose it all, that's a risky financial move that did not turn out good. Next, a flashy lifestyle. If we have been on TikTok, we know that people are flashy. We know that everybody is showing off their new car, their new watch, their expensive skincare routine. Everybody's showing off their new penthouse apartment. And I want to be frank with you guys, a lot of those people are lying. A lot of those people are lying. People rent out cars just to make content and claim that it's theirs. People literally, there are houses out there where a ton of creators will literally just rent it out for like a day. And they'll film all this content in the house and try to show off that they're, flashy or whatever. People are literally going into debt trying to fake being rich. So it's not true, but because you're seeing it, you think that this is a lifestyle that you should have. So you're going out, you're spending all your money that you realistically could be spending on something that's going to make you money. You're spending it on stuff that's going to decline. For example, a car. That depreciates in value, okay? And so you're spending your money on things that you do not need, nor do deep down do you really even want. For what? Because you feel like that's what you're supposed to do because you see it everywhere, and it may not be a conscious decision. It may be completely unconscious, but you're doing it anyways. It can also make you feel like you're behind in life. And I can say this from personal experience. Being on TikTok, I was seeing people who were like, I'm 19 and I'm a CEO. Okay, well, I can't fact check that. So first off, I don't know if you're telling the truth. But also, it makes you feel like you're behind. It can make you feel like you should have been, reached certain goals already. And that discouragement alone can stop you from reaching the goal in the long term. Because if you're sitting here feeling like, dang, I should have already been there. I should have already reached this goal. I should have already made this amount of money. I should have already gotten this degree. I should have already gotten this certification. I should have already started this business because this person did it, and this person did it, and this person did it, and they're this young, and they're this young. All that can cause you to be so discouraged where you literally stop. And I know that. I've done it so many times. Like, girl, I'm still struggling with it now. So please keep that in mind while you're scrolling through social media. And to piggyback off of this, it can make hard work seem lame. I know that when you see like these young people like flashing what they have and everything like that, there are a lot of times where people make it seem like easy. Like they literally just like, yeah, I accidentally got this. Yeah, like I didn't even work that hard. And it's just like, okay. Like even stuff like grades, right? I'm not in college anymore, but I know that when I was in college, people who made it seem like they didn't have to study for tests, that they never paid attention in school anyways, and they got all these straight A's and blah, blah, blah. It's like, dang, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm working super hard. I'm putting in the hours. I'm putting in the time, and I don't have it. So it becomes an idolization of having success without having to put in a lot of work. And that's just simply not how it is. If you actually look at like real successful people, a lot of the time they will tell you, like 99% of the time, they'll tell you, I had sleepless nights. I worked day in and day out. I invested all that I had. I put my whole self in this. And then on TikTok, people are like, accidentally got it. Like, girl, it's not, it's so frustrating. But yeah, it just can destroy ambition. It can destroy hard work. It can destroy determination. And all of that will affect your finances. Trust and believe it will affect your finances. It doesn't just affect, your grades. It doesn't just, big issue there. Don't get me wrong. But it will affect your finances. Like literally listening, like being influenced by TikTok can be the difference between you being a multimillionaire and you working a $50,000 job. No, there's nothing wrong with a $50,000 job if that's what you want. But if that's not where your heart lies, then you're doing something that's against what you truly desire for your certain ambition and your very specific goal. So you've given up what you could have been because of TikTok, because of a 30-second video. Please keep these things in mind. It's really hard to give up a phone addiction. It's very difficult to give up social media. Not every single thing on social media is bad. Okay? Not every single thing is bad. But if you are not aware of what you're watching and you're just consuming, and there are some times where it's not even purposeful. You could have like a perfectly great, motivated, beneficial feed, and then something just pops up and it discourages you like that. I'm not going to tell you to delete social media, but I will say be conscious and be aware of what you're watching and why you're watching it. That concludes today's video. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed. And if this video provided some type of benefit to you, please consider subscribing to better your finances as I also better my finances. If you have anything specific you would like me to talk about or go over or break down in a video, please leave it in the comment section below. Take care of yourself, take care of your mental health, and take care of your finances. Hope you have a great day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.